my conclusion, having looked at this in detail for so long, that the human body is a biological computer which is interacting with the field of information that people call the matrix or the simulation, just like a computer interacts with Wi-Fi. And it puts on the computer screen the information in the Wi-Fi in a completely different form that you're looking at on the screen. And that the biological computer is doing that through the five senses. It's interacting with the field of frequency information. And then is going through this process of turning frequency information into electrical information, which then gets communicated to the brain, and the brain then puts it into holographic information, which is basically the apparently physical world we think we live in. And so we are all the same in terms of different genetic types, in the sense that we are, they are designed to decode the matrix. But in other ways, what you put in a software program also dictates what that software program can do. So I think that there are certain hybrids, for instance, that are the controlling non-human human hybrid fusion that can see things that we can't see, that can see further into the field. So they're seeing a much greater range of reality than we are with our visible light limitations. And so I don't think you can say there's just one type of fusion. I think there are many different types, but the way that we are, the way that the human body has been created. I mean, again, you even look in biblical terms. You know, the sons of God interbred with the daughters of men. I mean, everywhere you see this same kind of theme. And the key point is, in terms of the slave race side of it, is that it's not just a software program that relates to the body and how its processes work and how it's constantly tweaking to respond to different environments and different, temperatures or whatever, and breathing and all the stuff, which we never think about unless we're out of breath. It's also psychological. I think there are psychological programs running through the body. And I think we have been, the body, say we are consciousness, experiencing through the body. But the body, I think, does carry software programs that are designed to make us subordinate to authority. And I think if you look at what we think is human history anyway, or the best we can get of human history, the few have always controlled the many, and the many have overwhelmingly been subservient to the few, to authority. And I think that what we call the awakening process, because I think if you don't awaken or open your mind, body-mind, to consciousness, the real you, the body software program is running your life. It's dictating your life. It's dictating your reactions, your responses. I mean, one of the interesting things I've found before they started banning me from loads of countries, traveling vastly to so many countries over the 36 years, is that no matter what the race, no matter what the religion, no matter what the culture, there were certain things where if they happened, people would react the same. Like, for instance, the reptilian brain you mentioned, that's where we get fight or flight from. That's where we get either freezing in the face of danger or running. And we get road rage and the instinct of survival, not just survival of physically, but survival of relationships and survival of jobs, etc., from the reptilian brain. So we are psychologically programmed. Now, the thing, this is why it's so important. When you open your mind and you let consciousness in, you start overriding the body program. And then you start to become unpredictable, not predictable, and you start to see the world in a different way. You start acting a different way. You respond in a different way because you're accessing levels of awareness that are beyond the program that is designed to control you. And I think the whole process is consciousness comes into the body. The body software program dictates response, and then you leave, and you've pretty much behaved through your life in ways that suit the agenda of that which created it. Whereas when you open your mind to consciousness and you start tapping into the real you, beyond the body program, then suddenly you see the world differently. You don't get scammed as easily, and you start to question your reality rather than just accept it and go on without question.
I think there was an original genetic code for the human, which was based on divinity. And that this whole splicing of genes and genetic bioengineering was meant to lead to the capping off of the access for consciousness to come in. And I think they know that eventually consciousness will always find a way of coming in again. And I had a very interesting realization on Sunday. We had the gathering of the Mavericks finally last weekend, and we had a guys from electroculture coming in. They were talking about those coils, copper coils and antenna for growing food. And he said something so interesting. He spoke about engineered seeds, right? And he said that after about 4 generations, this seed kind of starts reverting back to its original code, its original genetic code, the dominant one, the blueprint one. And as soon as he said that, I was like, my goodness, that would confirm exactly what I've been feeling, that they can splice all they want and engineer all they want, but in the end, it wants to always go back to the blueprint of divinity. And so in that sense, you know, like they know that it takes a certain time for them to come, for consciousness to come in. And this is why they try to anticipate that each time. And now they're doing it through AI. You know, they don't have to splice the genes anymore. They just, you know, implant us with AI. So it doesn't, you know, we never even get to the point of questioning it, like you always say. But, yeah, that's my take.
What's interesting is the gene splicing, it's there. It's there to be seen. The human form has been genetically manipulated so much, and when you go back to the ancient accounts, like the Sumerian and others, it talks about the fact that this happened, and the Sumerian tablets found in Mesopotamia that go back thousands of years, they describe the abilities that humans had before the genetic hijack. Mm-hmm. And we had many, many, many more gifts and abilities and to perceive reality and to do many, many things. And, you know, I think the controlling hybrid bloodlines, if you like, they did not have those abilities withdrawn in their particular genetic types. That's why they're interbreeding with each other all the time. Whereas the mass of the human population, they had this genetic tinkering and this suppression of those gifts. And so you're trying to work out what's happening in the world while they have a much greater ability to perceive reality and to understand reality. But we can do it only when we tap into consciousness, because consciousness overrides everything. And you can override the program, and you can override the control system as well if enough people go through the process of true awakening, not awakening, oh, there's a conspiracy, it's political and it's financial and that's the way it goes. You really awaken to the consciousness that we really are, then you can override the program, and that's when people go, whoa, so that's what's happening. If you want to read more and watch more of my content, then go to the description under the video where you can buy my books. The latest one is The Roadmap, where you can get tickets for public events, and how you can subscribe to a fantastic video channel called Iconic, iconic.com.